I'll first start with some basic questions about fitness and exercising. First question is, what is your background with fitness and how long have you been working in this field?
Sure. So I have my bachelor's in kinesiology from the University of Maryland, and my master's degrees are in business administration and healthcare administration. While I am currently in the member services role here at Recwell, I spent the last 15 years as the fitness director here in the organization. So this is a newer transition for me, and in that capacity, I was responsible for the oversight of all of our fitness programming and services.
So, as the director of member services, what are the things you do?
So in that regard, I handle more of the business piece around here at Recwell, membership sales and services, as well as I'm responsible for all the faculty, staff, and employee wellness here on campus.
Okay, that's great. The second question is, why do you enjoy fitness and what first motivated you to get involved in this field and pursue a bachelor's in kinesiology as you stated before?
Sure. Well, so I started undergrad as a government and politics major, thinking I wanted to go to law school. But I do live with a silent and chronic disease. I'm a type 1 juvenile diabetic since the age of 7, and I was really raised to know the importance of movement for health and not movement for just aesthetic purposes. I'm just very passionate about educating other people to be proactive about your health and wellness, to prevent disease and to prevent lifestyle triggers, but more so just to improve your quality of life. So I'm a big subscriber to sitting less and moving more.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to sit around all day. That's really bad
Sure.
for your health. Third question is, do you have any close friends, family members, or clients that you were able to personally motivate to go to the gym in the past?
After I've been in this industry for a really long time, so to think back, but I like to think that I'm very public and authentic about living life with movement as the forefront of your life and living a balanced lifestyle, both in an online capacity, social media world, as a fitness professional with a chronic disease, but also just in my family and friends. Just thinking something super local. My husband and I lead a life where, both he and I prioritize physical activity into our daily lives and support each other in that endeavor with 2 small children. And so, just as a concrete example, this morning, that means I'm getting our 2 small children off to school and on the bus, so he's at the gym early before his work day to day, because it's my plan to then go to the gym in the evening. And I think that there's a mutual encouragement and support there.
Just within your family?
Yeah, just within my family. But I like to think professionally, yes, along the way I've motivated many people to lead a more active lifestyle, and then just within the sphere of my own community, just by being super public and intentional about the way I share information.
Okay. This is kind of a controversial question, but do you believe that people make unreasonable excuses when they decide to exclude going to the gym and exercising in their daily lives?
I don't really know that unreasonable is the right word. There's a lot of common excuses for not being active. The number one excuse is always lack of time, right? And I always call it perceived lack of time, because we all have 24 hours in our day. It's how we choose to use those 24 hours. Like, nobody else gets magic extra hours in their day. And I think busy, particularly in this geographic world, area is just such an overused word, right? It's like a medal of honor to be busy.
People, they just say, oh, I'm busy, I can't.
Yeah, like busy is a badge that we all carry around on our sleeves now, and I think that's a really crappy excuse. And so for a lot of people, I just choose to teach them how to be active throughout their day in reasonable ways. I don't think that activity always starts in the gym. I think that's your first myth. I think that you can be active at home cleaning your house, active when you choose to park in the back of a parking lot and walk further with intentionality, active when you take the stairs over the elevator. And our most recent physical activity guidelines really encourage people to be active in any way that feels good as much as they can throughout their day. So it's a big shift from the box thinking of you must be active for X amount of time, X amount of days, and in a way that happens in a more traditional recreation setting. I think the practical way to be active in your lifestyle is to make it work for you. And so while for me that might look like getting in the gym, for you it might look like taking a walk around outside while you're studying
Everybody's
versus
different.
sitting on your bed.
Everybody's
And making people feel like they can do that and have the grace and the freedom to do that, I think is what's necessary in making activity work for folks.
In my prototype idea, what I wanted to do is, so I wanted to make a website where people can sign in, and then once they go to the gym, it'll automatically like track their location to make sure they're actually there. And then once they spend a X amount of minutes, then they start to get points, which they can redeem for prizes and gift cards and stuff like that. So what you said about exercise can't just be going to the gym; it should be other types of things too. So I think I have to.
Yeah, you might want to think about like a way, can you metrically associate that with heart rate or something like that to
steps
log in
taken.
activity or steps taken, because I love incentivizing and rewarding people. That's how you make things sticky and gritty, right? Because we're a society of immediate gratification, so we need stars and stickers and, you know, high fives, and that's what makes it stick when like our scale isn't moving, or the things that we wanted to happen right away might take a little bit longer, or things have started to slow down because we've plateaued. We really need those incentives to keep pushing us forward. But I think for some people, the reality of like being in this kind of setting, for some of our students, it's really intimidating. It doesn't work for their current.
Do you think that like some people they don't want to go to the gym because they don't want to feel like they're being judged by other people?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Some people, if they haven't grown up in the gym culture, let's say, you know, their parents weren't active, they weren't active, they're not surrounded by a community who's active. Going in the gym seems like hell on earth to them, right? They're like, why? Or just somebody who doesn't look like what they think they should look like. Like, there's this preconceived notion that you have to look a certain way to belong to a community. And that's really what's been successful about other workout programs that sort of squelch that myth of what you have to look like, or more private boutique workout spaces that are growing. That's just a smaller sense of community. You know, it can decrease the intimidation factor, but I think really the big thing is just making people take ownership out of being planful about how they're active and just doing it as much as they possibly can, and that it doesn't have to fit in like this pretty little package on a treadmill.
Do you think there's like a small minority group of students that only go to the gym? Because like I usually go to the gym a few days a week, and I only see people that are obviously have great bodies and stuff like that.
Well, there's a rather large population if you're looking at this campus that uses our facilities, so I wouldn't say small, but I think there is a faction of people that we don't reach, that gym culture is never going to appeal to them, particularly in this facility, because architecturally when it was built in 1997, it was appealing to make spaces wide and open and very visual. And, you know, if I'm just starting out and I have no clue what I'm doing and I don't feel great about myself, it doesn't matter. I could be a size 0, but I don't feel good about myself and how I move. I'm not going to go stand in the weight room next to somebody that looks like they've been doing this forever. So, you know, there's just an intimidation factor there that would be hard for me to overcome. There are also just some people that prefer to go outside for a walk and, you know, run, and that can't happen in these 4 walls, and that's okay.
I had an important question. If someone doesn't know how to begin a fitness routine, should they try to learn by themselves, or should they try to get into contact with a personal trainer?
So you're asking the wrong person that question, because I obviously have a bias. But I think that, so let me take 2 approaches to that. I think that in this day and age, with the information that exists on the internet, if you are a savvy researcher of information and a savvy consumer, then yes, you could absolutely get good information by yourself, because it's there to exist. But I the caveat being like like you use a consumer's eye and you look at your sources, because there's lots of information out there, both good and bad. So that's why I say savvy consumer. I think your personal trainers really matter in terms of establishing that accountability piece for you, and coaching and motivating you along. So I think they're really great for the people that don't have a friend beside them nudging them during finals and saying, yo, you've been in the books for a really long time and you're looking exhausted. Let's get up and move. Like, if you don't have somebody saying that, that's what your personal trainer is for. I can teach you how to do a squat and you can pay me a lot of money to do that, or you can go YouTube how to do an effective squat and get 50 sources. So we're not reinventing the wheel as a personal trainer, but what we are doing is coaching you to enjoy it, where to feel it at, how to feel it correctly, how to feel it incorrectly, probably most importantly, and then calling you on a Monday morning when you're super tired and saying, hey, I'm counting on you to be here today.
Okay. For you, what do you think are the most important health benefits of physical activity?
Oh, numerous. I always say that I'd be a billionaire if I could package it in a pill. And I think it's very individualized. For me personally, just in relation to my disease state, there's lots of benefits to resting metabolic rate and increased insulin sensitivity, but that really wouldn't matter to you. To you, it might decrease your stress and anxiety and help you sleep better at night. I think it's very individualized to the person. But there are so many benefits to physical activity that are even outside the physical realm, right? We know that it
it's
can
mental.
Yes, it can
Stuff like that.
absolutely improve your emotional well-being. It can improve the effectiveness of the medication that you might be on to manage your emotional well-being. It can decrease your stress. It can help you sleep. It helps mental acuity and focus. For some people, it decreases their risk of Alzheimer's. It can help, like I said, somebody manage a metabolic disease more effectively, get off medicine, help medicine work more effectively. The benefits are endless to
Do you
physical
think that
activity.
being dedicated and motivated to go to the gym transfers into other aspects of your life?
I think it can, because I think that it can give you more energy. Well, I know that it will give you more energy, and so I think that can transfer and bleed into other aspects of your life.
Okay.
I think it's really just like an opening of a floodgate, so to speak. So.
Yeah. It just it's an overall lifestyle change. I
Absolutely,
guess.
yeah.
Do you think that anyone can overdo physical activity by doing it too many days in a week or spending too much time in one day?
So yeah, I mean, your body repairs itself only during rest. So if you're not giving yourself adequate rest, there's always the ability to overdo something.
And do you think that everyone has a unique body type that requires different types of physical activity and exercises and stuff like different rep ranges in order to see results, or do you think that there's one common routine?
So there are, depending upon your training goal, there are existing formulas for the training goal, but results are going to vary per person, because you and I have different parents and different genetics. So, you may be composed of more type 1 muscle fibers than I am. Obviously, you have more testosterone than me, so your propensity for building mass in muscle is going to be greater than mine. But if you line up another female alongside me, I may carry more testosterone than her, and so be able to build more mass. There's just a lot of genetics at play there that we can't control. Unfortunately,
So do you think these genetics give people an advantage in
I wouldn't say an advantage, so to speak, but certainly there are different body types. And then, in relation to physical activity is also, there's a nutrition piece alongside that too. So certainly that can factor into things.
Okay. These are more motivation, about motivation and getting into the gym, and also about what Recwell is doing right now.
Sure.
Do you believe that universities are doing enough to encourage people to exercise? And then is there anything Recwell does in particular?
So I think that universities as a whole and collegiate recreation as a whole has shifted their focus 10 to 15 years ago to focus more on wellness and less on exercise, so to speak. So more on balance. more on paying attention to all dimensions of your wellness and making an active decision to pay attention to all of those dimensions, and highlighting, just how we do that. And that exercise doesn't have to look like running on a treadmill. It could look like going on an adventure trip and climbing a rock wall, or taking a swim. We at Recwell try to choose at least one, usually 2 campaigns a year where we really stress that. So like right now we have a campaign going on where we partnered with the Department of Physical, blanking on the name. My goodness, it's a Tuesday.
Is it like a government?
Yes, the latest government physical activity guidelines. Their existing campaign, How Do You Move, highlighting that movement can look like many different things, and that you should move in any way that makes you feel good. We adapted and modified with their permission marketing materials to fit into our domain of campus and audience, and really just trying to capitalize on making people recognize that movement, can look in many different ways, and that they should celebrate how they move and how that makes them feel.
I see you guys like added signs all around the building.
Yeah.
Just recently, is that part of that campaign?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So like last spring, we did the Move Your Mood campaign to focus on movement for mental health, and so each year. In the past, we've done like stress less, move more. So we're always trying to be intentional about finding ways to educate both our patrons and campus community that movement is good for you in many regards, and doesn't always have to begin in a traditional recreation center.
Do you plan on adding more flyers, posters, and like ads all around campus besides just like right there?
Sure. So so we do a lot of our marketing via social media, because that's usually our greatest outreach to students. Flyers aren't super effective, nor are they environmentally friendly, and so we typically don't live a lot in that domain, but we do partner with lots of organizations. Like this information you can find in the health center, you can find it in the counseling center, you can find it in the libraries, so other sort of high traffic areas for students.
Do you know about any current on-campus organizations or club that promote fitness?
Yes. So hopefully I can remember all of these since I've stepped out of the fitness domain. So Charge is a women's organization on campus that focuses on promoting physical activity amongst collegiate women. I believe there is another organization on campus, like their name right now. I want to say it's like Start, or you would have to look on the student organization page. There's also a calisthenics group on campus that is a student organization that focuses on body weight training. We have over 50 sport clubs at this point in time, and they all focus on a specific type of movement. So there's numerous student organizations out there on campus that's their goal and mission. And there's probably, I'm sure, some that I'm forgetting or that I didn't even know about.
Do you think that students are aware that going to the gym or just having overall any type of physical activity can help them perform academically, or do you think there's like a lack of knowledge in that area?
Some are, some aren't. So that is definitely a new and upcoming area of research, and one that I'm excited to see what happens in the next 5 to 10 years. So I think this population of student, yes, is more aware than even this population of student 4 years ago. So the millennial generation themselves thus far spends the most amount of discretionary income on healthy lifestyle choices than previous generations, and I think that's only going to move forward.
So going back to my prototype idea about making a website or an app that allows people to check in every time they go to the gym, and then like they can get points if they're there for a certain amount of time. Do you have any, besides like you said I should try to accommodate other types of physical activities such as running through like heartbeat, heart rate, and like amount of steps taken, do you have any other specific suggestions?
I would say the only thing you do is make sure you integrate that in some sort of social media, because people love getting high fives from people, right, or likes. So finding ways to share their activity, that was really the success behind the Nike running apps and the Map My Run, is not only could they track their biometrics, but they could share it socially with their friends, and find that build that accountability group if they didn't have one, but also find the positive reinforcement they were looking for to stay motivated.
I see there's like a lot of group fitness classes, and there's also, you guys have personal trainers. Is there any costs that go along with using those services?
Sure. The group fitness classes are all included in your membership, and all students do pay membership fees through their student activities fee. The personal training, yes, there is associated cost with getting that higher level of instruction in personal training. While the costs are still a fee, they're pretty nominal if you price it in comparison to the outside commercial fitness world.
And they get to choose like how long they want
Yes.
to have a personal trainer. It could be like just a month or the
Yeah,
whole semester.
yeah, it would be how they wanted to structure their program.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, that basically covers all the questions I had.
Okay,
I hope to get this idea going soon.
great.
But right now it's just in the prototype stages, and I just need to like reach out to like people
Sure.
that can actually make a website and to do this. But overall, I'm really happy that this
Good.
interview happened.
Good. Well,
Thank
it's
you
so
so
nice
much.
meeting you. Good luck.